Hi, my name's Diane, and I always used to think that I was a super likable person. All through school, I was popular, and not in the bratty way. I was popular because I was nice. I went to parties every weekend and had friends on all the different teams and from all the different clubs. I liked knowing so many different people, and I enjoyed having friends who were as kind in return as I was to them. When I was 21, I married Jonathan. We met at work, and then stayed in touch, even when we both left to pursue more illustrious careers. We dated for 3 years, and in that time, we spent time with each other's families. It wasn't until later on that I noticed something was off. We'd been married a year, and we were in a hotel with his family for Christmas. None of us enjoy the cold weather, so we sequestered ourselves away on the sandy beaches and in the sunshine in order to feel some heat. We'd been there for 3 days when things started to go wrong. First, it was to find a huge orange stain on the back of my favorite white dress. Then, all my bikini tops went missing. I was growing more and more disconcerted about the goings-on, right up until my sarong was found in the public poolside bathrooms. Jonathan, do you think someone is trying to sabotage our holiday?
Sabotage is a bit dramatic, but certainly someone is playing pranks on us. Probably my brother-in-law when he's drunk.
This made the most sense. Of course, it was just a prank. I was little peeved about my clothes paying the price, but when Jonathan made a lighthearted demand over breakfast that the prankster return my things, I found them in the bathtub. I made a quick laundrette run, and I was happy to call it even. If anything, I was quite glad that I'd been included in the family so much that they felt comfortable playing tricks on me. I never outwardly reacted, and in hindsight, I think this was the first mistake. Perhaps if I'd been visibly upset or angry, maybe it would have been a sign that I was human after all. But my silence on the matter was likely the cause of the escalation. On the 5th night, I was poisoned. I fell so ill that I had to be taken to hospital. They had to pump my stomach, and even then, I spent the rest of the vacation stuck in a hospital bed recovering. I was miserable, but my husband stuck by my side the whole time, and even slept on a cot beside my bed. The doctor said that it wasn't just food poisoning. They said the kind of poisons in my body wouldn't have come from anything I ate, so it must have come from an outside source, meaning someone did this to me.
I don't know why anyone would want to hurt you.
Me neither, but someone did. We need to be careful.
If we find out who did this, we'll make sure they get what's coming to them.
We all went home at the same time, and Jonathan hugged his sister and mother, who expressed their disappointment that he couldn't be there with them.
Though of course no one can blame you for being such a doting husband. Good of you to stay with Diane all through her sickness. And you, dear, are you feeling much better? I'm so sorry. Your holiday was ruined, so...
I'm fine. Just glad to be out of the hospital and on my feet again. I'm so truly grateful that Jonathan stayed by my side.
Of course. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but by your side.
You could have let him go for one day. It's his holiday, too.
Don't be absurd. I never wanted to leave. She repeatedly asked me to, but I never even considered it.
Whatever, Jonathan. I just think she should loosen the reins a bit.
I was so upset by what she was saying, but also not too surprised. My mother-in-law had warned me that she and Jonathan were close as children, and that she was used to getting her way. She must have wanted to use the holiday to spend more time with her brother, and I got in the way. This was the first time I got a bad feeling from her. I didn't say anything or act on it, but I did keep my distance from her as much as possible. My suspicions proved correct when the next family gathering. Any uncertainties I had were washed away when I found her sneaking into my room and cutting the sleeves off of all my clothes. She didn't see me sitting in the corner. I'd stolen away a few minutes of time to just relax and not listen to her subtle, disparaging remarks. She'd obviously chosen to think I'd gone to the bathroom and decided to use that time productively. I filmed her without her knowledge, and she continued on, blissfully unaware that I had caught her in the act. Unfortunately for her, she'd cut up Jonathan's clothes, not mine. I assume that she hadn't meant to make that mistake, but she also hadn't meant to be caught. She's not nearly as smart as she wants to think she is. Later that night, while Jonathan and I were in our room together, I debated my options.
Did someone cut my clothes up?
I think maybe it was your sister.
She never did know when the pranks were too far. Gosh, she can be so annoying.
Jonathan stormed downstairs and demanded his sister explain herself.
What the hell, Jonathan? You're just going to take her word?
She has it on video. You didn't even check the room. She was right there.
I could see the moment her anger at me turned into something deeper, something more dangerous. I could see the fire in her eyes exploding like a nuclear bomb, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to walk away from this unscathed. That night, after she'd spoken privately with Jonathan, we were in bed.
She just wanted to spend more time together. She was jealous of you. She promised to stop.
I knew how much Jonathan loved his sister. It was probably that fact that stopped me from saying anything else. But she didn't stop as she promised. The next week, I was approached by a coworker. She told me that she'd always thought I was so nice and was disgusted to learn what I'd done. She walked away before I could ask any details. I noticed after that how many dirty looks I was getting. I was good friends with everyone in my company, so to suddenly feel such animosity shocked me to my core. Please tell me what's going on.
We all know you were caught in your neighbor's bedroom, Diane. And here, I thought you loved Jonathan.
I pleaded with her, trying to explain that whatever she'd heard was a lie, but she turned her back on me and walked away. After that day, no one at the office talked to me again. My boss told me that I was on thin ice, and that I was lucky she was letting me keep my job. I tried to tell her that none of what she had heard was true, but she wouldn't listen. I was devastated, but I didn't know what to do. I couldn't talk to Jonathan. He'd be so upset to learn that his sister hadn't stopped, and I was quite certain that he didn't. I had to take matters into my own hands. First, I took a video of my neighbors introducing themselves. On one side is Mr. and Mrs. Baker, a couple in their late 70s for whom I mow the lawn and cook dinners for often. On the other side, we have a widowed mother of 2 who I babysit for every Tuesday night so that she can go to the cinema, something she used to do with her late husband. My neighbors were good people, and they were happy to be interviewed to disprove the rumors. When I returned to work on the Monday, after having sent out the video, the atmosphere was much lighter. For a week, I thought maybe I'd gained the upper hand.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You canceled the conference room just last night.
What? No, I didn't cancel. That wasn't me.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't here, but I know that the event was canceled and it's your name here.
Do you have any other rooms?
I'm sorry, but we don't.
I was so humiliated. This was the first time I was asked to book the work conference, and somehow I'd failed at it. When I told the boss, she was so angry.
I gave you one extra responsibility, and you ruined an important conference. Now I have to call all of our investors and apologize for your failure.
I was invited to pack my things. After the rumors they'd sent around, my boss was very suspicious of me. After this, I guess she just couldn't take it anymore. My boss's ex-husband had cheated on her with her events organizer, and it was too much. I didn't even argue. When I got home, shoulders sagging and tearful, Jonathan came to me immediately. I explained what had happened, and he looked furious.
This was my sister, wasn't it? I'm very disappointed that she didn't stick to her promise, but she's brought these repercussions upon herself.
I'd never seen Jonathan so angry. I already felt snubbed by his sister, who he once held in high regard. I was worried that I'd be disinvited to the family if I complained, but Jonathan took matters into his own hands. The first thing he did was call in a noise complaint to his sister's apartment, and then anonymously sent complaints to her landlord about pets and indecent exposure. He hacked her emails and sent salacious emails to married coworkers. She lost her job and her apartment in the same day and moved in with her mother. That same day, she demanded we arrive at her parents' home.
She got me fired and evicted.
What on earth are you talking about? Why would Diane do that?
Actually, it was me. I found out that you had Diane fired, so I gave you a taste of your own medicine. And I know that if you did that, then you probably stole her clothes and then poisoned her while we were on holiday.
She paled, and her mother and father looked furious.
Did you really do all of that? My goodness, I knew you were jealous, but this is too much. You've brought shame upon us all. Get out. You can live on the streets if this is how you treat family.
She isn't family.
You aren't her family. And now, you're not mine either. You've crossed a line, and you should be grateful that we're not going to the police. Goodbye.
She stormed out of the house, and I felt guilt at first, but Jonathan was right. She had gone out of her way to ruin my life. She almost killed me. She brought this upon herself. When she was left to suffer on the doorstep, begging to be allowed to stay, I felt bad, but Jonathan took my hand and promised me that I was family, through and through, and that true family didn't hurt each other like that. Thanks for watching. Please like the video.